Hello everybody and welcome to my channel once again. Let's get on with this. Today I wanted to make a video about all the books that I have and that have started to read but that have never finished, and these are books that I have not DNF'd. So yeah, let's begin. Alright, so the first book in my list I think is actually the most recent one, and that is The Chronicles of Narnia. And I know this is like the entire collection, but the one book that I started reading was the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and I've been reading the book for years. I started reading it when I was in my junior year in college, and I've been out of school for the past 2 years, so yeah. I mean, I read halfway through the book and then I decided to pick it up maybe like 2 months ago. I think it was in May, and I got to the middle and then I had to take it back to the library, and so I never finished it. And then I decided to buy it, and I thought if I have it, I just don't have an excuse, and so I bought it, and it hasn't been read, but I will finish it. I will. Yeah. The second book on the list is Crazy Love by Francis Chan. This is a Christian Living book, and it is one of the best ones that I've read. Francis Chan is legit. I love him and I like his writing style, and I just like him as a person. And this is actually not my copy because I do have a copy and it's all beat up because I started the book like 2 times already, and each time I get close to the end. I only have like 30 pages. It won't take me very long and it won't be very hard, but for some reason I've just had, I don't know. Is there something wrong with me? The third book that I wanted to talk about is called A Lost Babylon, and I don't have that one because I was listening to it on audio. A friend of mine recommended that book to me, and it sounds really interesting, and it is itself real interesting because it's a historical fiction work about what would have happened if Germany had won World War II. Sounds really interesting, but it's just really hard for me to get into, but I do want to finish it. It's a much older book, so the writing style is a lot different, but I do want to read it because I think it's one of those books that I should have on my book repertoire.
English is my second language, you guys. Just so you guys know. Sometimes I forget words or I mispronounce them.
So that is the third book that I really do intend to finish. I'm not giving up on it just yet. So I'll probably give it another go in the near future. I'll let you guys know when I do. This book up is The Girl on the Train, and again, I don't have it with me because I got it as an ebook, so it's in my phone, which I'm using to film. So I don't have a visual aid for you, except that I'll maybe add a picture here. I started reading that book. It was like a year ago. It was probably legitimately a year ago, and it's interesting. It's good, and I like the writing, and the story is pretty intriguing, and I mean, I was into it. I liked it, and every time I go back to read it, it captures me. It captures my attention, but I don't know why. I do not know why. Maybe it's because it's an ebook, but I do want to finish it because the movie is coming out. I'm not sure when it's coming out, but it's coming out pretty soon, and I want to be able to watch it after reading the book, so it will get read. It will get read. I have so many of these. I didn't know how many books I've had on read until I sat down and wrote this list. The next book in the list is actually a reread, and that is The Shadow of the Wind. This is an amazing book. I read it when I was a senior in high school for my literature class. This is a literary fiction work. It's set in Spain, and it was originally written in, I believe, in Spanish. It was originally written, the original title was La Sombra del Viento, and it was translated into English, and I read it, and the writing is so good. I mean, it's amazing. Here's the quote from this book. It's so beautiful. That book taught me that by reading, I could live more intensely. It could give me back the sight I had lost. For that reason alone, a book that didn't matter to anyone changed my life. So good. I love this. The language is so captivating. It's beautiful. If my cat could stop messing with my light, that would be great. I do intend to finish rereading it. I'm halfway through somewhere. I don't know where I left off. If you have a chance to read this and you're into like historical fiction or maybe literary fiction, this book is amazing. Language is beautiful. Language is amazing. yeah. And the last book that I want to talk about is Death with Interruptions by Jose Saramago. And this book, it's really interesting in its premise, because the premise pretty much revolves around what the title says, Death with Interruptions. So one day, death just stops doing its job, and all these people in the city just stop dying. Like, nobody dies. Like, I mean, they are losing limbs, and they are in the final... Whoopsie! They're in their final stages of dying, and they just won't die. And so at first, it's like a party, you know, we defeated death, we're gonna live forever, bro. And then the next day it's like, wait a minute, this actually may not be such a good thing. Insurance companies, they actually, I think they go broke or something, because there's so many people in hospitals and dying, but nobody actually dies. And so it's a really interesting perspective as to what would happen. And so I read into this book quite a bit. Oh no, never mind, quite a bit, it was this much. I will say his writing style is a little difficult. He writes in very long sentences, and his paragraphs are super long. I don't even think he uses paragraphs. No, he doesn't use paragraphs, and a lot of his books are like this. Jose Saramago originally writes in Portuguese. Please correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not entirely sure. And so his work is translated. I do want to finish reading this. I got it at a half-price bookstore for like super cheap, and so I do want to finish reading it. So those are all the books that I wanted to talk about today. I do have a couple of others that I have started reading and have not finished, but do intend to finish, but I didn't want to put them all in this list, because then this would have made for a video that is 100 years long, and nobody wants that. So if you enjoyed or somewhat enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you would like to see more of my videos that I will be filming. So thank you for watching. Again, subscribe if you'd like to see more of this, and I will see you next time.